Welcome to In the Cool of the Day and our new segment, Rooted to Rise. I am your host, Apostle Renee G. Hood Stanton, and my co-host is my wonderful husband, Deacon Dexter Roosevelt Stanton. We both are with Root of Jesse Ministry, and we will share more about our ministry concerning its purpose, plan, and passion in a moment. To help us share the vision today, we have a special guest and a friend who holds a master's degree in social works and divinity and a Bachelor of Science. He is also the president of the Chill Station. Our special guest has been a chaplain within the penal system and is now retired. He has a passion for the underserved with special interest towards the returning citizens in the Baltimore, Maryland area. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Chester France to Rooted to Rise. Well, welcome, Mr. France. We're glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here this morning.
Oh, welcome again. Welcome, Mr. France. You have a nonprofit, a 501c3, the Chill Station. What inspired you to develop this project?
Well, the Chill Station came out of my having served in the Maryland prison system for over 17 years. And early in my career, while I was serving in one of the maximum security prisons, I'm a West Baltimore guy. And men were asking me, is there any support in Baltimore when I come home? And so as I began to look around in the community, I didn't see a lot of support, particularly anything that was really collaborated. And so I believe that, God provided and gave me the vision to really develop a concrete reentry initiative, particularly in West Baltimore, where I grew up, born and raised, and where I grew up. And so out of that, I'll tell you very quickly, the Chill Station name came from when I was serving with a pastor in the Park Heights community. And in the building, in the bottom floor, she wanted to develop a place for the kids when they leave school to come to this place instead of going right home. And they had wanted to name that space the Chill Station so that kids would be able to come, do homework, listen to music, have something to eat. Wouldn't just be chilling out, but that was the name, and it never really happened. And I loved that name.
Okay, Mr. France, you have joined with Root of Jesse Ministry, which we are, and we are also a 501c. What is it can you tell the audience today what inspired you to collaborate with Root of Jesse Ministry?
Okay, thank you, yes. Well, as you know, I was serving as a Protestant chaplain at Patuxent Institution in Jessup, Maryland. And we have women at the Patuxent Institution as well as men. And the women were telling me I needed to meet this wonderful woman who was a volunteer, a religious volunteer. And her name was Renee Hood at the time. And so one evening I had the opportunity, before leaving the prison, I met the volunteer, Apostle Renee Hood, and we decided to sit down and talk, and I wanted to share with her my vision that God placed in my spirit. And as we talked, she smiled and said that she'd get back to me. And then she emailed me the vision God placed in her spirit, and it was the same vision. And so we decided, well, God will send people together to manifest the vision. And so we decided to collaborate together and work on this initiative about creating jobs for men and women coming home from prison.
Mr. France, can I just ask you to elaborate more on the initiative? What is the initiative that Root of Jesse Ministry and the Chill Station has begun?
We have decided that because men and women have so many challenges when they leave prison and come back to their communities, the priority really is about jobs. And we decided that we were going to create jobs and think outside the box because we are clergy and we felt that men and women who have sewing skills in the prison come home and there's not an opportunity for them to be employed.
Okay.
So we decided, you and I decided, that we would develop an initiative to teach men and women how to sew church apparel, clergy robes, choir robes, judiciary robes for all of the different faith groups. And so we've launched this initiative to really create jobs by helping people to learn how to manufacture church apparel, i.e. clergy robes, choir robes, judiciary robes.
Okay, and so I understand in order to create this vision, for it to come to fruition, that it would need a strong board. So if you could just tell us a little about your board and your board members and their roles, then it'll help us understand what goes on behind the scenes.
Okay, thank you. Well, developing a board is, as you probably know, has its challenges because it's a startup. Mm-hmm. And so the challenge is trying to continue to look for board members or people who, first of all, in my opinion, have a passion for the vision. Yeah. Yeah. And not necessarily what they might bring to the table.
Right.
Because I believe that if people have a passion for your mission, they will find a way to get the work done.
Right.
And do what's necessary to support the organization. So when we originally started, we had 9 board members, 6 board members, and the board is made up of a diverse group of people. Mm-hmm. Certainly, first and foremost, we have people who have been previously incarcerated on our board. Mm-hmm. That to me is very key because we want people that we are serving to help us develop the initiative. Exactly. And be part of the decision making. And so we had, originally we had 2 men and 1 woman who were previously incarcerated. Okay. We have other professionals on our board as well. And so we continue to recruit people who are able to bring the passion, but also the resources and the commitment to the board.
Yeah. Well, I like that you are willing and the board is open to those that were once incarcerated because they can help give you that mindset. Absolutely. And help you discover the need. Yes. Of the individuals that are the returning citizens.
That's correct. Yes. Yes.
One of the problems I was just mentioning, you just mentioned something about them working. Is it a work initiative or is it a job training?
Well, we decided to create what is called a worker-owned cooperative business model. Mm-hmm. And that is that the persons that we employ will ultimately become the owners of the initiative, the sewing initiative, for example. And so when they become owners of the initiative, then they really commit to making it happen. So the worker-owned cooperative model really provides benefits to those who own because they share in the decision-making, they share in the profits, and they tend to, in that model, they tend to never have to worry about being unemployed as well.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that this model is set up and structured for more accountability and responsibility, because if you're an owner, then you know that this is not just a risk or you could lose your job, exactly. But you can lose your ownership.
That's correct.
And so you find it's more strength, it seems like, in this model of accountability one to another.
Yes, yeah. It is. Yeah. Absolutely. When you're accountable to one another, you work together, there's a benefit for everybody because everybody is invested in making sure that everything happens.
Yeah. So everyone has each other back.
Everybody has each other's back.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I like the name TCSROJ trademark. Lifting labels, and that slogan, changing lives with each stitch. What is the meaning behind that?
The meaning behind the changing lives, lifting labels, This idea came about by a young woman who was a master's of business student at the University of Baltimore in Baltimore. And we asked her to develop our trademark, given what we wanted, what we were about, our vision. And so back and forth, as designers do, we met at least a half a dozen times. And she really developed this logo trademark called Lifting Labels, Changing Lives with Each Stitch. It means that men and women who come home from prison, they have labels on them. They are called ex-cons, they're called, they have those different labels. And what we wanted to do is provide the opportunity for them in sewing. So as they are sewing the garments and making the garments, they are lifting the labels off themselves because they are becoming instead of a tax burden citizen, they become a tax paying citizen. And so that's what's behind the lifting labels. It's to lift the labels off of men and women coming home from prison.
Yes, and just recently, you had something that it was a joy, okay? We got a letter back from the University of Maryland who took on our trademark pro bono. And so can you just share with the audience, because I know they would love to hear the good news. We have about a minute left before break.
Okay.
And so if you can share with them what happened.
Okay. We had, I'm a graduate of the University of Maryland School of Social Work, and I have a colleague who works at the University of Maryland Law Center. And so I shared with her what we were about to do, and she shared with us that the University of Maryland, College Park, has a law center there that deals with intellectual property. And we connected with them. And they decided that the students would do the search and everything to help us submit our application to the U.S. Department of Patent and Trademark Office. They did all of that work pro bono. We applied. We were currently now registered with the little aura in the circle as registered for our trademark. And so we're delighted that we have now accomplished that task as well.
It is time for a station break. We'll be right back. Hello, we are Apostle Renee G. Hood Stanton, and this is my awesome husband, Deacon Dexter Roosevelt Stanton.
And we are Root of Jesse International Ministry. And we would personally like to invite you to come out and celebrate 25 years of outreach, prison ministry, and building families throughout the United States and abroad.
So please come out and join us as we celebrate so many of you who have transitioned from prison into power. Blessings. And God has a blessing with your name on it. Come on and get it. This event will take place at the Brook Road Recreation Center at 1101 Brook Road, Capitol Heights, Maryland, 20743. Welcome back. Prior to the break, our special guest, Mr. France, was discussing a collaboration with Root of Jesse and the Chill Station.
Okay. And one of the questions that we didn't hit on last time, but what are the needs or the problems that this collaboration helps?
Well, according to the U.S. Justice Department, approximately 650,000 men and women are released from state and federal prisons in the country every year. And so when people come home from prison, they're faced with a lot of challenges. People have a need for jobs. They have a need for housing. They have a need for education. Mental health is an issue. Financial stability is an issue. Reconnecting with the family members is a concern. And so particularly where we are going to be located in West Baltimore. West Baltimore has been a place where a lot of men and women leave West Baltimore to be incarcerated, and they return back to those communities in Baltimore City. And so what we're trying to do is to be sure that there is a concrete reentry initiative to provide all of the needs for the people coming back so that they can not recidivate. Recidivism in the state of Maryland is very high. I don't know, it may be 47 to 60% sometime, that men and women that leave prison tend to, within 3 years of being released, tend to return to prison. And the reason is because there's not really a lot of collaborated, concrete support in place, particularly jobs, housing, your education, and your mental health services. So our initiative is designed to really provide and focus on those areas that men and women have these needs. And so our big picture is to have a large building that it becomes a one-stop center that will provide all of these services for men and women coming home. But certainly we had to start small and so we're starting with this particular job initiative of manufacturing church apparel.
Okay, and one thing that I really love about our initiative is that it's co-op, you know, it's workers owned, but also it's entrepreneur minded.
Yes.
So can you tell the audience what's the thought about it being geared toward entrepreneur mindedness?
Okay, thank you. Yes, that's an important question. As we know, many men and women who are incarcerated have really good entrepreneurial skills because of the kind of work that they did prior that got them incarcerated. So they bring with them entrepreneurial thinking and entrepreneurial skills. And so what we're attempting to do is to have them to continue to use those skills, but in a different way, in a more legitimate way, honestly, so that when they come to be employed with the Chill Station Ruta Jesse initiative, our plan is to help them to become stabilized first, because they're coming home with all kinds of anxiety and issues, concerns, and some of them may think they know how to start a business right away. But when they're faced with all of the necessary steps, then they find that they need help. So we're here to provide them with the necessary skills to help them to learn what does it really take to start a business. And so our initiative is to help them to provide training in the areas of entrepreneurship, but also just really to get them stable enough, put some money aside, because starting a business also requires some financial commitment as well. So it really is it's a 2-3 step process of helping them to get started on their own.
Okay, so it has more than one step. We know that one of the components of this initiative is the sewing apparel, but we know that there's other components by what you just said, but also that you have certain tools in place to help the success rate of what the initiative is. Can you kind of speak on those tools, such as the you call soft skill training and
Well, we've been really delighted to have an opportunity to work with men and women, helping them particularly with soft skills training and cognitive behavior skills training. I'm a real advocate for helping people to change their thinking, because we believe that everything begins with your thoughts, and your thoughts become your actions become your behavior becomes your character, and your character dictates your destiny. So that we're just trying to help men and women, first and foremost, change your thinking, provide the social skills around communications, how to speak to people, how to understand other people, how they feel about certain things, getting involved in people's understanding so that they have the skill sets and the work skills sets to be able to not only just get the job, but to keep the job.
Right, and it sounds like this tool that you're going to be utilizing, it just gives them that stability that they have been lacking.
Yes, because honestly, as a chaplain, having worked in the prison system for over 17 years, I've seen what takes place within the prison. It's a whole different mindset of how men and women have to operate.
Right.
And so you can't really take those same operating systems or values when you leave to come back to the community, because they tend not to work very well.
Right.
Question. Well, we're talking about the returning citizen. But what about the citizens who are underemployed and unemployed? Are they a part of this initiative?
Yes, they are. We have partnered with one of Maryland's one-stop career centers, particularly the one in West Baltimore, Mondawmin Mall. That's a place where men and women who will leave prison come to the one-stop center to register so that they can receive any benefits that's available to them. But what else takes place there is that they are able to learn how to use a computer, get on the computer. They have interview workshops. They have all types of workshops to help men and women to be able to look for jobs and know how to get the job. So this initiative is not just for previously incarcerated persons. It's for people who are already home or already unemployed or tend to be underemployed as well.
Okay. Well, I know one of the things that Root of Jesse Ministry and the Chill Station has recently done, and we'll see a repeat of it on the 20th of this month, is the open house.
Yes.
So we have collaborated with Phil Spector with Fashion Unlimited, and so we will be housing this initiative there.
That's great.
And so can you kind of share with us about the open house?
Okay.
And
we're just really excited that we've been able to partner with a man who has owned an apparel manufacturing facility in West Baltimore, and he owns also two others in other states as well. To be able to have our initiative right there in his sewing factory. He has a lot of space, and we are partnering with him to utilize the space. He's going to train people in the technical skills of how to sew. We are going to help him as well in providing the social skills and the cognitive behavior skills as well. So last Friday we had our first open house that we invited people from the community, stakeholders, clergy, others to come and see what we're about to launch. We're going to do the same thing this coming Friday on May the 20th as well. And so it was a great opportunity for people to come, see what we're doing, and help us or allow us to show them how they can help us by purchasing our garments, but also making a financial contribution to the organization.
so as our time is winding down, I know that you would like to share with the viewers how the communities can help the efforts and to help us bring forth this vision for the collaboration that we have for this initiative.
Yes.
So,
This is a very important piece of our initiative, of course, is how do we get the communities, the different communities, the faith group, other influencers, foundations, and people who have been previously incarcerated, their family members, our friends and relatives as well, to support the initiative. And particularly churches to support the initiative. And several things that we're asking them to do. First and foremost, we're asking them to give us an opportunity to make their garments. Let us show them what we can do for them, because they're already purchasing garments from all over the place, including overseas. And so we want to have them to give us the opportunity to purchase the garments. We want them to consider us, put us in their missions budget at the end of the year or prior to the end of the year, so that they are committed to providing a financial contribution to the organization. But there's also one other thing that's really, particularly the faith community can help, and that is they're members of their congregations that are business owners. And we would like the business owners to consider hiring one person that's been previously incarcerated, and we can help them to make that a successful partnership. So those are the things that we would love the community to help us with, helping us to make this initiative successful.
All right, well, Mr. France, I just want to personally thank you so much for taking out your time and coming and sharing with our viewers today. And so we just look forward to hopefully maybe one day having you back on the show with us.
Thank you so much. I'll be delighted to return, because there will be more.
Okay, we look forward to hearing it.
All right, thank you.
We're out of time, and I want to thank you for watching today, a segment of Rooted to Rise. Have a wonderful day, and remember to get the word out to those who may be helped by the benefits from the Chill Station and Root of Jesse initiative that we discussed today. Join us soon on In the Cool of the Day and our segment, Rooted to Rise.